Some people pass through our lives like blank pages of a book. They seem to have everything, but upon closer inspection, we realize they lack something essential. After 60, we learn that appearances can be as fragile as sandcastles, and that someone's true character is revealed in the small gestures of daily life. What happens when we remove social masks and look beyond polite smiles or status? Research from Harvard University reveals that everyday behaviors are the best translators of who we truly are. There are two infallible signs that act as a compass to identify the true character of a person. The first sign is evident in how people treat those who can offer them nothing in return. It is in small interactions, with the building janitor, the supermarket clerk, or the elderly person needing help to cross the street, that the veil of social cordiality breaks and reveals true essence. Studies show that genuinely empathetic people maintain a consistent standard of kindness, regardless of who is in front of them. Conversely, those who alternate between kindness and coldness, depending on the status of their interlocutor, often hide traits of narcissism and insecurity. The way someone treats the most vulnerable is a powerful mirror of their deepest values. A study conducted by the Psychology Department of the University of Michigan proved that how we treat people in socially inferior positions correlates directly with our levels of empathy and emotional intelligence. It's no coincidence that great leaders and truly accomplished individuals are often recognized for their ability to treat everyone with equal respect and consideration. The second revealing sign lies in the value people place on promises made. The consistency between words and actions acts as a signature of character. When someone promises something, a phone call, a favor, or a more serious commitment, and faithfully delivers, it shows more than mere organization. It reveals integrity, respect for others, and emotional maturity. Studies by the American Psychological Association indicate that people who keep their word, even in challenging situations, tend to have longer-lasting relationships and higher levels of personal satisfaction. Fulfilling promises is not just about following through on agreements. It is about honoring the trust placed in us. When someone consistently breaks their promises, even small ones, they are sending a clear message about how they value the feelings and time of others. This behavior can be indicative of emotional disengagement or, in more severe cases, manipulative traits. By developing sensitivity to observe these two signs, how people treat those who cannot repay them and their commitment to promises, you acquire a valuable tool for protecting your peace and cultivating more authentic and rewarding relationships. After all, as the saying goes, character is like a tree and reputation like its shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the reality. Let us dive deeper into the first revealing sign of character, the dedication shown to those who cannot offer anything in return. This indicator is so powerful that it reveals more about someone than all the kind words or status updates on social media. Think about the person who smiles and is extremely kind to the doctor or the bank manager, but treats the building janitor or cleaning staff with coldness or impatience. This contrast in behavior is like a red flag signaling something important about that person's character. It is as if we are watching a play where the actor only performs when the cameras are on. Recent discoveries in neuroscience from Johns Hopkins University show that our brain detects inconsistencies in social behavior long before we become consciously aware of them. It is that feeling of discomfort we sense, even without knowing exactly why. It is our years of experience alerting us through intuition, a silent wisdom developed over decades. First, when they are under pressure or stress. It is easy to be kind when everything is calm, but true character is revealed in moments of tension. Someone who maintains courtesy even when running late or worried demonstrates genuine self-control and respect for others. A Stanford University study revealed that people who remain kind even under stress have lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, indicating more developed emotional resilience. Second, in situations where there is a power imbalance. How does this person treat service employees, customer support staff, or elderly individuals who need assistance? True empathy does not discriminate based on social status or appearance. A study conducted by the Boston Center for Aging Research showed that elderly individuals who maintain respectful relationships with people of different social levels lead longer and healthier lives. Third, when no one is watching. The most revealing behavior is what happens away from the spotlight. A person may donate large amounts to charities seeking recognition, but true character is shown in small anonymous acts of kindness. These are the moments when someone helps an elderly person cross the street without expecting applause or returns a lost item to its owner without seeking a reward. The point is not just about being polite. It is about recognizing the inherent dignity of every human being. Stanford University research shows that people who treat everyone with equal respect tend to have longer-lasting relationships and higher levels of personal satisfaction. It is no coincidence that these same people are often sought out as confidants and advisors by friends and family. This first sign is particularly important after the age of 60, when our relationships need to become increasingly meaningful and genuine. The wisdom of years teaches us that true richness of character lies in consistency, in being the same person with the same kindness and respect, regardless of who is in front of us. It is like the old story of the man who greeted a statue every day as he passed by. When asked why he did this, he replied, "To not lose the habit of being kind." This profound simplicity reminds us that character is not something we turn on and off as convenient. It is who we truly are when no one is watching. The second revealing sign of someone's character lies in how they handle promises and commitments. It is fascinating how, after the age of 60, we develop a special sensitivity to distinguish between people who make empty promises and those who truly honor their word. It's not just about punctuality or organization. It's about respect, consideration, and integrity. Imagine a promise as a delicate invisible thread connecting two people. Each time we keep our word, this thread strengthens. Each time we break it, it frays a little. Research from the University of Chicago reveals that consistently fulfilling commitments, even seemingly small ones, is directly linked to building trust and strengthening emotional bonds. People who honor their promises demonstrate three fundamental characteristics that modern neuroscience considers markers of emotional maturity. First, they exhibit greater activation in the prefrontal cortex, the brain area responsible for planning and impulse control. Second, they show more balanced levels of oxytocin, the social bonding hormone. Third, and perhaps most importantly, they exhibit a stronger connection between brain regions associated with empathy and reward processing. The issue goes beyond simple social courtesy. A longitudinal study by the University of Michigan, following people for over 2 decades, revealed that those who keep their promises show significantly lower levels of stress and anxiety. This happens because fulfilling commitments is closely linked to our sense of control over life and our ability to build meaningful relationships. Observe how someone handles 3 different types of promises. Small daily promises, like calling a friend or arriving on time. Promises made in times of need, such as helping in an emergency. And promises that require personal sacrifice. Consistency across these 3 levels reveals much about a person's character. With the wisdom of years, we learn that there are people who make promises as if scattering seeds to the wind, without thinking about where they will land or whether they will sprout. They are the ones who say, "I'll call you tomorrow," or "You can count on my help," with the same ease as breathing. But their words are like passing clouds, beautiful to look at but lacking substance. On the other hand, there are those who weigh each promise as if it were gold. Before committing, they consider their real possibilities and limitations. And when they promise, they move mountains to fulfill it. They are like those ancient trees in the park, silent in their promises but unshakable in their roots. Neuroscientist Dr. Robert Thompson from Stanford University explains that the act of keeping promises activates the same brain circuits associated with moral integrity and trust building. It is as if each fulfilled promise were a brick in the construction of our reputation and character. And after 60, we well understand the value of a reputation built brick by brick over decades. This deep understanding of the value of promises allows us to create more authentic and nurturing relationships. When we meet people who honor their word, it feels like discovering a safe harbor amidst life storms. These are the people who will stand by us in moments of joy and in challenges. Not because they have to, but because they chose to be there and keep that choice alive through consistent actions. After understanding the two revealing signs of character, a fundamental question arises. How can we use this wisdom to cultivate more nourishing relationships and protect our inner peace? After all, after 60, every moment and every connection becomes even more precious. It's time to learn the art of discernment with love and wisdom. There is an ancient Eastern tradition that teaches, observe how someone tends to a garden, and you will know how they will tend to their life and relationships. This timeless wisdom resonates with the latest findings in positive psychology. Researchers at Harvard University discovered that people who maintain healthy and authentic relationships are 42% more likely to enjoy a long and happy life. The secret lies in developing what experts call emotional radar, that intuitive ability to perceive the true nature of the people around us. It's like cultivating a garden. We need to distinguish the flowers from the weeds, nurture what is good for us, and gently remove what harms us. Some practical strategies can help us in this process. First, practice the art of silent observation. Before deeply engaging with someone, observe how that person treats others in different situations. It's like watching a movie in slow motion. Every gesture, every word, every small action tells a story about who that person truly is. A fascinating discovery from modern neuroscience shows that our brain possesses mirror neurons, specialized cells that allow us to feel empathy and understand the intentions of others. With age, these neurons become even more refined, enabling us to develop a sharper perception of people. It's as if nature gifted us with an increasingly accurate inner compass. Dr. William Peterson, a renowned psychologist from the University of Michigan, found that people over 60 have a special ability to detect inconsistencies in others' behavior. It's as if decades of experience endowed us with a sixth sense to identify when someone's actions do not align with their words. But perhaps the most important aspect is learning to honor our own intuition. How many times have we felt that tightness in our chest, that sensation that something wasn't right, but ignored it? Modern science confirms this. Our body often perceives warning signals even before our conscious mind processes the information. This wisdom invites us to a deep reflection on how we choose our companions. It's not about judging or condemning, but about establishing healthy boundaries with love and respect. As the old proverb says, it is better to walk alone than in bad company. This truth becomes even more valuable when we understand that chosen solitude is very different from the loneliness imposed by toxic relationships. Remember, every person who enters our life is like a new page in our book of experiences. Some will be long and meaningful chapters, others just brief paragraphs. The important thing is that we are the conscious authors of this story, wisely choosing who we want in our closest circle. There is a profound connection between the people we choose to keep in our lives and our physical and emotional health. Recent research from Harvard University reveals something surprising. The impact of toxic relationships on our health is comparable to smoking. It's as if every negative interaction leaves a small mark on our well-being, while positive relationships act as a protective shield for our health. When we talk about longevity and quality of life after 60, we cannot ignore the fundamental role of social connections. A study conducted by the Center for Healthy Aging Research showed that people who maintain nurturing relationships have lower levels of inflammation in their bodies, better immune responses, and even more restorative sleep. Think of your health as a beautiful garden that needs daily cultivation. Just as we choose nutritious foods for our body, we must carefully select the energies we allow into our lives. An emotional diet is just as important as a balanced diet. After all, what good is eating the best foods if we are feeding on relationships that drain our vitality? Experts in integrative medicine have discovered that chronic stress caused by difficult relationships can increase the production of cortisol, the stress hormone, which in turn affects our blood pressure, sleep, and even our ability to absorb nutrients from food. It's as if our body is sending us clear signals about who we should keep close. There are 3 fundamental practices to protect our emotional and physical health through character discernment. First, practice social nutrition. Just as we choose foods that benefit us, consciously select the people you spend your time with. Prioritize those who demonstrate the positive signs of character we've learned to identify. They're like emotional vitamins for our soul. Second, establish nutritive boundaries. Learn to say no with love and firmness to situations and people that do not contribute to your well-being. It's like creating a balanced diet for your social relationships, eliminating the emotional junk food that can harm your health. Third, cultivate soul hydration. Dedicate time to activities and people that genuinely nourish your spirit. This could be a walk with a sincere friend, a deep conversation with someone who keeps their promises, or moments of contemplative silence in your garden. Dr. Michael Thompson, an aging psychology specialist, compares our need for healthy relationships to the importance of regular physical activity. Just as exercise strengthens our muscles, genuine connections strengthen our emotional resilience and immune system. Remember, every time you choose to distance yourself from toxic relationships and draw closer to people with integrity, you're making a direct investment in your health and longevity. It's like choosing healthier foods. The benefits may not be immediately visible, but over time, they make all the difference in our quality of life. This wisdom about the connection between character, relationships, and health invites us to a deep reflection. What kind of emotional nutrients are we allowing into our daily lives? How can we create a social environment that genuinely supports our overall health and well-being? Dear friend, we've reached that special moment in life where wisdom becomes our greatest treasure. After 60, every choice we make about who we keep close has a profound impact on our quality of life. It's like preparing a nutritious meal. Every ingredient counts. Every seasoning makes a difference. Studies conducted by Harvard University reveal something extraordinary. People who learn to identify and cultivate relationships based on genuine character are 60% more likely to maintain an active and healthy mind after 70. It's as if every positive interaction works like a vitamin for our brain, stimulating our mental and emotional vitality. Let's explore 3 transformative practices that unite character discernment with our holistic health. First, the gratitude breakfast. Start your day by nourishing yourself not only with healthy foods, but also with positive thoughts about the people of integrity in your life. A balanced breakfast rich in proteins and fibers, accompanied by reflections on nurturing relationships, prepares your body and mind for a lighter day. The second practice is what I call the discernment walk. During your daily walks, so important for maintaining cardiovascular health, practice observing the people around you with wise eyes. Notice how they behave, how they treat others, and how they fulfill small promises. It's an exercise that strengthens both the body and your intuition. The third practice involves creating a garden of nurturing relationships. Just as we choose organic and natural foods for our table, we must carefully select the energies we allow into our inner circle. People with integrity are like aromatic herbs in our garden. Their presence enriches our lives and strengthens our emotional health. Dr. Richard Anderson, a specialist in aging neuroscience, discovered that maintaining relationships with people of high character stimulates the production of neurotransmitters associated with well-being and mental clarity. It's as if every positive interaction were a small dose of natural medicine for our brain. Remember, just as we need vitamin D from the sun, our spirit requires the light of true relationships. A lack of this emotional vitamin can affect our immunity as much as an unbalanced diet. Therefore, cultivating discernment is not just a matter of wisdom. It's a fundamental practice of self-care. When we learn to identify and value people of character, we create an environment conducive to our integral flourishing. It's like having a well-kept garden where each plant contributes to the harmony of the whole. Research shows that people who maintain this emotional garden balance have lower levels of body inflammation and better cardiovascular function. This is the beauty of maturity. Being able to consciously choose who we want in our lives, knowing that each choice directly impacts our health and well-being. It's like preparing a special meal. Each ingredient is selected with love and care, creating a nutritious and pleasurable experience. We have reached a precious moment in our conversation, where all the wisdom shared turns into an invitation for a fuller and more conscious life. Like a well-tended garden that blooms in spring, our ability to discern the character of people and cultivate nurturing relationships is an art perfected over time. Recalling our journey, we discovered how small gestures reveal profound truths about people. It is fascinating how the way one treats those who cannot repay them and their commitment to promises made are windows into someone's soul. They are like petals of a flower that, when opened, reveal its true essence. Dr. James Harrison from Stanford University shared an extraordinary finding. People who develop the skill of identifying and cultivating relationships based on genuine character are 75% more likely to report life satisfaction after 70 years. It is as if every conscious choice of who we relate to becomes a seed planted for our future happiness. But perhaps the most significant discovery is that it is never too late to start. Each new day is an opportunity to apply this wisdom in our lives. Like the story of the gardener who, at 82 years old, decided to plant a tree. When asked why he would plant something that would take so long to grow, he replied, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now." This wisdom about character discernment is not just knowledge. It is a tool for personal transformation. When we learn to identify and value people of integrity, we create an environment conducive to our integral flourishing. It's like having a well-planned garden where each plant contributes to the harmony of the whole. Remember, every person we choose to keep in our lives is like an ingredient in our recipe for happiness. Some bring the sweet flavor of loyalty, others the invigorating spice of honesty. And just as an experienced chef carefully selects their ingredients, we must wisely choose our companions. Dear friends, if this conversation touched your heart and brought valuable insights into your life, share your experiences in the comments. How have you applied character discernment in your life? What positive changes have you noticed by being more conscious in your relationship choices? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Best Age channel. Your participation helps us continue bringing relevant content about health, well-being, and life wisdom to our community. After all, together we are stronger and wiser. And remember, true youth is not in age, but in the ability to keep learning, growing, and making conscious choices that nourish our soul. See you in the next video with more precious tips for a full and healthy life. Until then, take care with love and wisdom.